So the Corpus in Warframe are now making weapons that are incredibly effective at killing the Corpus. Pure graphic, I guess, in some way. So this is the Battacor. Yes, I know I'm a week behind. I should have had this video out last week, but it is what it is. This is a sentient hybrid weapon created by the Corpus in one of the labs out on Orvalis. The enrichment lab, I think, is where you can see it being looked at. It looks cool as fuck. Some poor battlist was basically torn apart for the glory of Neff. It had its list removed and they stuck a core in there instead. Now, the Battacor has got a pretty fun mechanic, but it also has some downsides to it as well, which I will go over in a few minutes. So this rifle has two different fire modes, a 2-round auto burst fire mode, which are primary fire, and a charged up shot similar to that of the Opticore as your alternate fire. So basically another railgun type of shot. But to use this charged up railgun shot, you need to first get kills with your primary fire. When you kill an enemy, it stores up a charge for your alternate fire, and they stack up to 3 times, not the shrubbery, the number. So with 3 kills, your charged Opticore shot will be at maximum damage and deal 3 times the damage of just one alternate fire shot. Pretty straightforward, right? Just kill with your primary shots and then let loose the charged shot on heavy units or large groups, because the beam is really bloody powerful. Now this charged up alternate fire has got a 2-meter innate punch through for shooting through objects or large groups of enemies if you need to. It deals radiation damage guaranteed for a little bit of added crowd control if you don't kill that enemy with your shot, and it has a 3-meter splash damage radius as well from where that beam hits. So you can hit multiple enemies in a line from the punch through or from that splash damage of that beam, and the beam itself is quite thick, so it can kind of, I guess, glance enemies and deal damage to them as well. Now, as far as damage go, the base fire mode of the Battacor is magnetic, which is ideal for Corpus. It's also got a bit of puncture on there as well, but it's got a really high crit chance of 34%. With crit mods, that brings you up to about, I think, somewhere around the 80% mark. It's also got one of the highest critical multipliers of all primary weapons in game, so this weapon is definitely hunter munitions viable. So it all sounds really good, right? And if you choose to mod for gas on top of that magnetic, then of course it's going to make Corpus just drop dead. Magnetic, gas, high crit chance, high crit damage, hunter munitions, you basically have the perfect Corpus killing machine. So perfect for out on Orvalis, unless of course you come across those hundreds of Corpus units that get bubbles put all around them with a rank 4 wanted level, in which case, fuck that, time to run. Now, to get the Battacor, you're going to need to first research it in the energy lab of your clan dojo, and it is a mastery rank 10 weapon, so you can't get it unless you're mastery rank 10 or above. Now, some of the biggest issues with the Battacor is, first of all, it is a burst weapon. That means it's almost an instant no for some of Warframe's player base who don't like burst fire weapons, so it has got some pretty big downsides. Projectile speed is very painful. Leading enemies at high ranges at far distances isn't fun at all because the projectiles are quite slow. It's got one of the slowest fire rates in the entire game. Only the Panthera has a slower fire rate than the Battacor, so you've got a slow fire rate and a really slow projectile speed as well, as it dealing, I guess, magnetic, which is great against anything but the Corpus, so in a way it's kind of gimped itself. And a charged alt fire mode will begin as soon as you hit that alt fire, and you can't stop it, which can lead to missed shots if enemies move, because you know in Warframe enemies are quite erratic at times. They can be moving one way and then all of a sudden flip and they're gone the opposite way, and sometimes they just run in fucking circles. Now, other than the fact that it's got a slow fire rate, it's got a slow projectile speed, it deals base magnetic damage and puncture damage, which aren't two great damage types. It is still a good weapon, and it is still highly effective against different enemy types if you've modded for corrosive or whatever else against whatever faction you're going up against. So it is an okay weapon. Now, you could just use the Tiburon Prime, I know, I'm going to get those comments, or you could just use the Opticore, but I guess this has the kind of, I'm not going to say the best of both worlds mixed in together, but it gives you more choices. Now, when I was modding mine, I went and I put 4 Forma on it, and config A I went for magnetic base damage, crit chance, and of course gas. Argon scope could be dropped out for more gas damage if you wanted to, and with config B I went for corrosive, and of course the same can be done with Argon scope. So by all means, let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Battacor. I will have the Occucore up next, probably tomorrow. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.